Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, sir. I told y'all boys I'd be back at 9 o'clock. We got to talk about the Georgia Tech, Georgia Tech. Them boys on the road. 6 commitments in one day. They was not playing. They was cooking with the fifth grade today. I don't know if Coach Key be listening to the pods or anything like that. We was waiting. We was a little bit nervous about what Coach Key would do because we was like, okay, the OVs didn't happen, y'all, May 29th, 31st. And we was like, usually Georgia Tech get a couple commitments. Not too far after Sunday went by, nothing. Monday went by, nothing. We was starting to ask concern. Well, Coach Key and them boys, they pulled the trigger today. And they got 6 of them Jones. All right. Now we didn't talk about the first two on the channel a little bit earlier. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go and check out those videos. I did film breakdowns and talked about them. Obviously Malik Lee and we talked about the Cessna Nabo Bude. So we talked about them on the channel. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about some more today. I got my main man. I didn't tell y'all special guest today. Jarvis D90, Jarvis Davis. I usually be on the show Locked On Georgia Tech. So I usually be over there with Big Jar. We doing a crossover show today. So he gonna join me here in just a second, and we're gonna talk more about the Yellow Jackets. And we're gonna get his thoughts and his reaction to what Georgia Tech has done today. And it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. So let's talk about the catapult first and foremost, right? The Yellow Jackets have catapulted from, I don't know if y'all seen the rankings yesterday, but there was number 71. And you know, Coach Key, that ain't gonna cut it. He not gonna have no number 71 class in recruiting. If he got anything to say about it just ain't gonna happen. So they have catapulted. And mind y'all, Georgia Tech also was number 17 in the ACC. They are now number 6 in the conference after this great day. Okay, so number 34, number 6 in the class. All right. So we're gonna go by each of these guys and obviously break it down. And whenever Jarvis joins us, he joins us, right? So we're not gonna talk about everybody that's already committed. We're gonna talk about the new commits today. All right. So I want to put y'all on game. We're gonna start with Joshua Pettigrew. All right. Now this guy's massive at 6'5", 225 pounds, and he's a matchup nightmare. Okay, be real with y'all. He's a matchup nightmare. You look at a big body, and what I love over these last 2 cycles of what Coach Key has done is he's really prefaced, instead of, hey, let me just go get a blocking tight end, let me get the athletic tight end that can make a difference in the pass game. Go look at the last 3 cycles. Kevin Roche Jr., right? You look at Nathan Agame, and now Joshua Pettigrew. Difference makers, not only in the passing game, but also in the red zone, but they can also block as well. So you look at that versatility and what he's been able to do in the last few cycles, and he's done a really good job of bringing these guys in, right? And this guy, like I said, he's an absolute load. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna show you guys the video I got when I went to Houston County. I know I travel, I'll be all over, but I'm gonna show you the video. Massive. I mean, obviously you clean up some different things like that. You can always fine tune, obviously, some route running things like that. But you see the catch radius, you see the big body. You can't tell me he's not going to be a difference maker. You know what I'm saying, in the red zone, in those plush areas when you need a catch, you need a third down and long. You need to play over the middle of the field. That is what Joshua Pettigrew is going to give you, right? So for me, I believe he's a guy that can help them in that 6'5" plus frame, and everything he can bring to the table. I think that helps you out. And like I said, go look at the last few cycles. This is what they've been recruiting. Those high end tight ends, big, fast, athletic, that can catch the football. And when we look across college football, practically every team has it. You look at Georgia with Caden Porter, who I know is making that transitional wide receiver. He was a guy, right? You look at obviously Ethan Barbour of Georgia, not to bring them up, another guy that can catch the ball. Any of these top programs has a tight end like this, and Georgia Tech has been recruiting that very highly here lately. So that is Joshua Pettigrew, one they got 3-star prospect, 87 overall by Rivals, 87 overall also by 247 Sports. Okay, so that's kind of what you're getting in a Joshua Pettigrew, right? Now, my favorite of the ones they got today is this one right here, because this came as a pleasant surprise, right? And I'm talking about Julian Elzy, right? And this was a major flip for Georgia Tech. Now, we just had him on the platform, and I'm gonna play a little clip of what he had to say. Big Jar, let me know when you're good, brother, and I'll bring you on. I'm gonna play this clip for y'all real quick on on let me see. Did he give me a thumbs up? No, not yet. When you ready to jar, give me thumbs up, man, so I know. All right, thumbs up. All right, he got it. All right, let's play this clip. Hold on, y'all. Oh, is it muted? Yeah, it is muted.
Because they're getting a great kid, great student, but most importantly, a dog in the field. Like, I'm not here to play around. I'm not here to, just try to, coast around. Like, I want to be the best player that's ever came through Georgia Tech. So that's what they're getting out of me.
Did you hear what that man said? And Jarvis comes on the show. Did you hear what that man said?
Hey, man. Is this mic on? That's a big statement there, Najee. That man about that life. He about that action, boss. He about that.
He's
about
that action. About that life. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's something, man. Like, this has been a day, man. This has been one of those days where we're gonna probably look back on and we're like, man, do you remember when Coach Key just went absolutely ham on it at 2027 recruiting class? Because this I have been really, really impressed by what he's been able to accomplish today, because this is one of those instances where you just gotta give his man a hand clap. He's off to a albeit it was a little slow, applause. You gotta give him a little applause, but yeah, he coming off this, he's capitalized a lot off of this past weekend. There are a lot of guys that they look like they can play some football, man. I got a chance to take football. I was on a few guys that committed today, and yeah, man, Brent Key is doing his thing. He's doing his thing.
100%. And like I said, now I'm gonna bring on Jar because he's big on in the trenches. So we're gonna get a start on the trenches here where we explore the rest of this class. But the thing that stood out with me with Julian is it's a mindset, right? I want to be the best. I want to submit my status, and he's already talked to Vinny Sinceri. And one of the other biggest takeaways I got from him was, oh yeah, I got to bulk up to 195. He just talked to Sinceri and he told him that. Now guess where he's at right now? He's 188, Jarvis. That ain't too much. So he's already thinking, let me get right. So I'm ready for my coach come in. Come on, 7 pounds. Yeah. But he's already got the mindset of, let me make sure I get what I need from my coach. Mm-hmm. That's what you need on the flat. That's what you need in your defensive back room. Yeah, that there to me makes a big difference.
Yeah, man. That's one of those things where you just look at and say, and this is the thing that I talked about on my show on Locked On Georgia Tech. I said that these coaches, when these players come in, when they visit and they have conversations with these guys, anyone who's a prospect, they have a plan. They have an absolute plan. And Sinceri been on Elsie since he was at Florida. So he's very familiar with this young man. He understands it. And when you talk about building out a coaching staff, we talk about relationships and how much they matter. Jimmy Smith, Tristan Willis, he was on him when he was at TCU. Boom. Come on over here to Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta now. Come on. Sinceri. Boom. I was on him when I was at Florida. Come on, Elsie. I got somebody I'm bringing with me. That stuff matters, man. I know people don't think it does with the NIL world, the money and all that stuff. But when you are able to hire coaches who are able to establish relationships with these young men, and that these young men see value in that, that's what you talking about, hiring a good staff, a good coaching staff, because these guys have a plan for these guys, and they're able to establish relationships with these young men. They're able to get some ball players in here, man.
Yeah, they are. And speaking of ball players, let's go ahead and fire Jarvis up and get him started with somebody in the trenches. All right, we're gonna go edge. Hey, Jar, how are you feeling about Success Nawabude?
Yeah, Success Nawabude is a guy that has all the measurables. You see 6'6.5", 6'7", 250 pounds. Like, that's just what you look for, and it's just a true, pure edge guy. Now, based off what I've seen, I feel like he's a little raw. However, I feel like Kyle Pope is the perfect guy to get him right. And, depending on what he does his senior year in high school, over there in Athens Christian, which, that's the little A, that the 316 boys, that's where they are. That's where they hang out at. Key was able to go in their backyard and snatch this young man up. And I think when you look at what Pope is and what he brings to the table, yeah, man, this is it's a match made in heaven for this young man. This man made an excellent choice because I've seen Kyle Pope in action up close, and I understand how much of a teacher this man is, how much of a motivator he is, how much he understands that hey, he's able to identify talent and know that hey, if I get this guy in the door and I get my hands on him, I know he's going to be a ball player. So yeah, success has a lot of chance to get some success, you know, on the flats if he does what he's supposed to do.
Sorry. Right now, you're looking at the tape I was able to get, Jarv, when I went to the Rivals UA camp, scouting him, and he took over, right? So, like you said, raw, but he gives me game breaker vibes. Yeah. Like you're looking to build for the future, and we got a comment from Miss Ebony. Appreciate you tuning in. Noah Carter will be a fire edge tight end. We've been talking about Noah Carter a whole bunch throughout Locked On Georgia Tech, and even on this channel. He's going to be a superstar, in my opinion. Yep. Success gives me those vibes as well, right? Because he's raw, but you're going to have to develop him. But he gives me that same, hey, Jarv, I want to bite your face off. I want to kill you. I want to smoke you. That's the vibes he gives me. And he's a guy that has a whole bunch of different moves he uses, violent hands. And I think with Coach Kyle Pope, as you said here, Miss Ebony, he's a great recruiter. He's also a very good developer as well. We're going to see that on the flats this year with some of these guys they have coming in. So to your point about success, and I broke it down on my breakdown earlier today, very good player, a little raw, but has obviously a lot of potential, Jarvis. So let's keep it rolling. Let's get your thoughts on Malik Lee. This is an underrated one, a little bit of a surprise. He was getting at one point recruited by Ohio State, Jarvis.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't know what happened, but
Ohio State was in. They was in on him.
Yeah,
you know, they were in on, and the thing about Malik Lee, he kind of reminds me of a little bit of Christian Garrett because he's kind of a tweener. Like he can play D tackle. They move him at end sometimes. And I feel like he looks pretty solid in both areas. But I think the thing with him is just coming in and figure out where he's gonna be able to have the most success so he can focus in on one position, because I thought that was the only thing holding Christian Garrett back. Like, hey, figure out what you want to do with him. And I think defensive tackle is going to be a good spot for Garrett. And I think Malik Lee, as far as I like what I saw from him in that edge spot, man. I really do, because he's at 270 now, right? So if you're able to get to a 265, like drop some weight and then add that muscle, like turn some of that baby fat into muscle, I feel like he could be a guy that can look real nice on that edge spot. Because even if Jason Seymour can get a little creative with him, right? Like even in pass downs, he can, on first and second down, he can maybe play that edge, and then on third down, he can be a guy that can play inside for you when it's third and long and they got to pass the ball. So yeah, I think one of Malik Lee he's just nasty. He just mean, dog. Like he just makes it seem like he's offended when guys are trying to block him. That's what he looks like when I watch his tape, bro. He looks like a guy that said, "Oh, you trying to block me? Oh no, I got something for you, dog. I got something for you." And I think that Malik Lee was a good grab, and I understand why Ohio State was in on this young man. So yeah, that's you playing with the big boys now. You talking about snatching the guy from who Ohio State had their eyes on. That we understand what's going on up at Ohio State. They passing out that bag, and when you get a guy, you're able to get a guy like Malik Lee. That says all you need to know.
100%. I'm gonna go back to your point of what you said real quick about the tweener part of it. And I think you're 100% right. You got to establish his position early. Now, I don't know if you get that in spring. I don't know if you get that in summer workouts or you get that in fall camp. But when he comes, he's a guy that can play a little bit all over. But you don't want it to be a situation. I ain't gonna say Christian Garrett wasted a year, but you don't want to have to be, oh yeah, second year we're gonna move Christian Garrett inside permanently to defensive line interior. Like you want to have that figured out for Malik Lee so he gets the most out of it. So I think that's the biggest question. What will he play? Will he be a tweener or will he be more so on the inside? right? And I think that's going to be something obviously this coaching staff will have to figure out. But very talented guy. Y'all saw my film breakdown on him. I think the kid has a lot of potential. And like you said, when you get recruited by Ohio State, Big Jar, that says a lot.
Yeah, man, that's what you want. You want to get talented guys in here. If the expectation is, if your expectation as the head coach of this team, Brent Key, that is, to be in contention for the ACC championship, which if you're in contention for the ACC championship on an annual basis, that means you're going to be in conversation to be in the college ball playoff, no matter how many teams they add to that bad boy. So you got to get guys like this in. You got to get guys that are uber talented, guys that are potentially can come in and play for you right away. That's just the name of the game. You got to be able to get these guys with talent to come in here and compete and push the young men that are already on this roster. So yeah, when you're able to do that, that's exactly where you want to be. And you're going to be in the conversations to be in Charlotte if you are continue to bring in talent like this, like 4-star guys. Like it was very prevalent today.
100%. Let's stay in the trenches. Let's go offensive line, Jar. Now we know with some targets out there, and we'll talk about another one maybe here later. But Kennedy Jackson, obviously, he's a guy committed to Florida today. Chavez Dixon has a recruitment coming up on Friday, right? They landed and they got Jordan Dillon today from Effingham County. How do you feel about that? 6'4", 305. Do you feel like that's a good fit for Georgia Tech? What's your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. He got the size and the height. He probably want to maybe put on a little bit more weight. 305 is a little light to be playing in the ACC on the interior, unless you're going to play center, right? So I think right now this is the type of guy that you're going to have to. He's going to have to be versatile. He's going to have to be a guy that can play that guard from guard to guard to kind of figure out his way. I can see him having like a Jamison Riggs type track. That's not a knock on him, but when you come into offensive lineman, man, there's a development phase for all of them. I don't care how many stars you have. When you come into big boy football, like there's going to be a development phase, and how quickly you get developed, that depends on how much talent you have, and it also it depends on who's coaching you. So I like what I've seen so far from Alan Mogridge. So if he has that plan for him to say, hey, I see you 6'4", 305, I need you to be 315 or 320 by the end of the year. And or I need you to stay at that 305. I need you to tone up a little bit, and we're gonna work get you some reps at center. And if you're able to come in early in the spring in 2027, hey, go and get that figured out as well. So the quicker a guy like Jordan Dillon gets in to the building and start getting some of that good teaching and some of that good training and eating on a college football Power 4 eating regimen, yeah, I think that's gonna be work out for him in the long run for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think get him on the regimen early, getting him developed. And the good thing is you're not going to have to rush him to play, right? Your interior should be pretty good for the next few years. You should have another year out of Joseph Ionata. You should have another year out of Kevin P. Jr. after this year. And the biggest thing you'll have to replace if you're Georgia Tech is that right guard spot, which you will probably look at the portal to obviously do that. Malachi Carney is a redshirt senior.
One of the Hurd twins could slide up in that bad boy too.
100%. So it'll be interesting what Georgia Tech does there. Do they like the development they're getting from the Hurd twins that you alluded to, or will they go to get somebody a little bit younger? So very interesting to say the least. And like you said, I think he's a guy with potential. We have to see obviously what happens and how quickly he can develop, Jar. All right. So we talked about him. I think we only got a couple more we gotta do. I didn't get your thoughts on him. Let's do Julian just real quick. I played the clip, but just real quick reaction. What was your thoughts when you seen tape and you got a chance to study him just a little bit?
I think LZ is one of those guys that, obviously being 6 feet, like 170 pounds, I understand Vinny when he say, hey, man, I need you to get pack on some weight. Because the thing with him, if he can figure out a way to play in that nickel spot, because that I feel like that'll be a way for him to get on the field quickly. But here's why I say that.
Hold on, pause.
Uh-huh.
He's playing nickel this year for Brookwood. First year playing it. People don't know that. I'm giving you a scoop. Literally just called him before this live. He is playing nickel literally this year. He's played cornerback, played safety,
I see the
free
vision.
safety, and now he is sliding to star nickel spot. Go ahead. I'll give it to you. I want to throw that in there.
See, so the atmosphere of the football lowercase gods are coming together right now, because that's what you need to be able to graduate to that next level, right? Or the transition to get on the field as soon as you possibly can. Because, you know, I mean, I know the old big 6'2", 6'3", 215 pound safeties are a dime a dozen now. That like not dime a dozen. They're hard to find, but the nickel position, man, you can get paid just as much money on a high level, you know, in the NFL now. So yeah, this young man is on the right track. He understands it. He has a huge advantage against everyone in this class right now. I feel right now in this moment, because there is a plan in place, and it's already starting to come to fruition for him, because he can, if he gets to 195,
188 right now.
Huh?
188 right now.
He's at 188. If he's able to get up to that 195 by the end of this year, and he's an early enrollee, please be on the lookout for this young man to step on that field in 2027. Please.
You heard that from Jar. He already making this early prediction.
I'm just saying.
I heard that.
Just saying. Put it out there. Put it out there, bro.
Oh man, for sure. All right. I think we got one more. Okay, let's talk tight end. I just talked about him before you came on. There's another big one today. Joshua Pettigrew, 6'6", 6'5", 225. And I talked about on the open. I want to see what you think about this, Jar. I said, you look at the last few cycles for Georgia Tech, and they're recruiting a specific tight end, right? Look at Kevin Roche Jr., athletic, can catch the ball, do some damage. Nathan Agame, I don't know what role he'll play this year, but athletic, can catch the ball, do some damage. Joshua Pettigrew, same thing, can catch the ball, make some plays, do some damage. It seems like they're hitting on a certain type of tight end they're looking for that's a little bit more dynamic with the ball in their hands. But what say you, Jar?
He coming into a perfect situation, because here's the thing. What does George Gossett want to do? He want to run some 12, 13 personnel. For those who don't know, that's 2 tight ends, 1 running back. As far as 12 personnel, 13 personnel, 3 tight ends. So you have an opportunity to get on the field. 6'5", 225, that's good size. Good size. I think right now for him, the thing that if I'm his position coach, if I'm Nathan Brock, I'm telling him, like, hey man, working on that inline. Your hand in dirt, putting your hand on that defensive end. I want to see you move. I want to see you help that your tackle out. Help that right tackle, help that left tackle out. How much can you get up to the next level from a blocking standpoint? Because that's what's going to get you on the field, especially at the tight end position, because everybody catch a ball. Wide receivers come a dime a dozen. Big, tall guys that can catch the ball nowadays, they come a dime a dozen. But can you block, though? If you can block, you can play early. And I think that Pettigrew is one of those guys that, hey, if you lock in, you're down there in Houston County. You know, I know people looking at that things on YouTube saying, oh, that's Houston. No. That's Houston. I got corrected a long time ago when I looked at it. I was like, oh, that's Houston. No, Jarvis. That is Houston. Houston County, down there in Central Georgia, you know, like he holding it down. But yeah, all he has to do is just work on his blocking, man. And I think that's going to be one of the things that can get him on the field early, because that's what it's all about. You committing here, you committing to the flats. These guys want to play, man. These guys want to play. So if he can commit to being a two-way guy, I think he'll be all right.
There it is. Two-way guy. That's how you see the field. Final recruit for the day, Jarv, is Braden Gordon. Ooh, Lord. Another problem, I would say. Two-way star, 600 yards receiving, 600 yards rushing, over 10 plus touchdowns off on the offensive side of the ball. And then
Okay.
defensively, had over 75 tackles. What was it? 25 tackles for loss, I think it was, and 10 sacks.
Woo.
I don't know. Problem.
Man. So
Problem.
the thing to me that really stands out, hey, you got to put on some weight. You trying to play on the defense side of football. Like you got to put on quite a bit if you want to play in the ACC. Because 190, man, that's not gonna cut it. That thing got to start with a 2 and a 3, at least. 2, 3, 7, 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 5. Like I need him to put on some weight, unless
well,
he's gonna be a stack linebacker, unless he's gonna be a
they
stack
stuff might be wrong.
linebacker.
Rob was a little wrong
Okay.
because he got his size. He's on 210. 210 a little better than 190.
I mean, you always add an inch now, half an inch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 6'4", 3/4. That's what the doggone scouts told me when I was, I was working out trying to pursue a dream. But I used to always say, man, I'm 6'5", man. So 6'3", 3.5. That's 6'4", with cleats on. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that weight got to go up a little bit for me to kind of get on board with him coming in and making an impact. Unless he's gonna play stat linebacker. If he plays stat linebacker now, there's gonna be a lot of room at that spot too now. So it might be something he might need to consider.
I'm with you on that, job. I think stat linebacker might be the move. He's played outside backer a lot throughout his out in his career. And like you said, what they're gonna have on the edge for years to come. And that might be the move because they're gonna lose all 4 of their linebackers after this year. It's probably hit the portal, but Cayman Spalding, Kyle Eford, EJ Lightsey, Melvin Jordan, all them boys are gonna be gone. They will have some young whippersnappers, but it's all up for grabs at that point. It's competition. So
it's gonna
your point,
it's gonna be like a fish in the barrel, man. Fighting for snaps next year at that linebacker spot. It's gonna be a lot of open positions. So there might be something if I'm him be able to consider. And if you can show that you can, function as a stack linebacker, shoot, who to say Jason Seymour ain't gonna use him to come off that edge on 3rd and long from time to time when somebody needs a blow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Jar. That's a great point. And as we wrap up, before I let you get out of here, man, I gotta ask, who is your favorite recruit from today? We talked about all 6, but who was your favorite? You was like, yo, Coach Key, hey man, he really cooked with this one.
Yeah, I gotta go with success, man. Like in Wabude. That's 6'7", 245 pounds, man. If like I said, I'm from Cal Pope, man. I'm itching and scratching and trying to get my hands on these young men. I was like, hey man, can you graduate early, sir? I need you to get in here in the spring so we can really put some work on you because that man, whew, you talking about the measurables, the wingspan. I mean, that man ran like a 4.8 in the 40 at that combine or that workout or whatever back in the spring, early spring. Yeah, man. That's what, and for those who don't know, that is really good to be 6'7", running at as a junior in high school. You run a 4.8, 4.9 at that spot. If you 6'7", 265, 270 pounds, and you coming out going into the NFL, you run a 4.8 that NFL combine, oh, you going. You gone. So you already running that now, man. Get some good training, some good workout, start really getting that speed down. Oh man, that is, it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be something to watch. So yeah, that's anytime I see a guy with size like that, yeah, I'm all in, bro.
100%. For me, it's gonna be Julian Elsie. I think that flip caught me by surprise. Didn't see that coming. He hit me last minute and let me know. And that one, I was like, whoa, like that was, they had it under the table. Most people was thinking there was gonna be another safety from in the state, and they really shocked people with that one. So Julian Elsie is probably my favorite big one. I think they got because you elevate the back end, even though you got young guys, Tay Harris, Phoenix Fall, we know Keelan Jones.
Yeah.
Now you might have a guy, as you said, that could play that star position because they're gonna have to replace that. Kelvin Hill's there now, but you're gonna need somebody the next year. He might be the guy.
It's there. It's opportunity, man. Number space and opportunity for the LZ to get on the field in 27.
For sure. All right, as we roll out, George P. Burdell said, Jarvis, loving today. It's DL day, apparently. As you can see.
It's like Christmas out here with all these defensive linemen committing to Tech today, man. So I'm rocking with it, George. Appreciate the comment, brother.
Yes, sir. Last one. Shout out to Mama. This is Noah Carter's mom, Jarv. Says nothing really, just getting to know the team, coaches. Says I watch y'all, respect, and thanks for all the love y'all give my baby. So we got Miss Ebony, Noah Carter mom in the building.
Nothing like a mother's love, man. Oh my gosh, man. Whew. Something else. Let me go ahead and get out of here before I start getting emotional. Yeah. Love mamas, man. Love mamas, man. That's good. That's dope.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. That's going to do it for today's show. Y'all can catch Jarvis at Locked On GT. All right. He's always live there every single day. Locked On. Join the Everydayer Club. You know what I'm saying? And y'all tap in with my guy Jarvis, and y'all catch me any day, anytime. Last thing, any updates on getting that QB? I ain't going to say too much. Just watch. And I'm leaving it at that. Ain't going to say too much. There's a couple in the territory. Just watch.
Yeah.
Catch y'all in the next one. And as always, peace and love.